Jackie.
Thank you, Karine. Should those university presidents resign?
That is not for us to decide. Well, what I can say is give the moral clarity of where the president stands on this. It is sad. It is sad that I have to be asked about those comments that they made, or answering a question that should be very easy to answer, right? It should be very easy to stand up and say, we, of course, we're going to call out any type of genocide, especially as we have seen against the Jewish community. Of course, we're going to call out anti-Semitism. I can't speak to how their process runs. That is not for me to speak to.
And hearing your strong answer, standing firmly against anti-Semitism, though, why is it not appropriate for the White House to stand firmly against anti-Semitism by calling for the resignations of those?
Because it's a private, some of them are private universities, right? They have their own process. We do not get involved in private university process and how they run their university. But what we can be very clear on and give moral clarity and call out and being asked that question, we can say, no, anti-Semitism is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. What we saw on October 7th, the slaughtering of innocent people because of who they are and what they believe, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Should their codes of conduct at the very least be updated if they...
I don't even know what their code of conduct is, so I can't even speak to it. So that is something for the university to speak to.
Can you explain what the deal is with this intern letter? I've seen some reporting that there were supposedly some interns that wrote to the president calling for a ceasefire, but there weren't any names on that letter. Has the White House determined if this was, in fact, White House interns that were writing to the president?
Look, here's what I can say. As you stated, it was anonymous. I know this is a painful moment for multiple communities, and that many people have strong views, and this conflict is personal for many people. So we've been clear about Israel's right to defend itself. We've been clear over and over since October 7th about this, in accordance with the laws, right? We've also been clear about that. The laws of war against an active terrorist threat from Hamas. They are a terrorist organization. So Israel should be allowed to defend itself against a terrorist organization. And let's not forget, they want to annihilate Israel. That's what they have said over and over again. So President Biden has been fighting to keep humanitarian aid flowing into Gaza, as well as pressing our Israeli counterparts to do all they can to minimize civilian casualties. That is something that the president has worked on since day one, to make sure that humanitarian aid does get to civilians in Gaza. But as you stated, it was an anonymous, but I can just state more broadly how we've been moving forward with this.
Is the president's decision to run in 2024 final?
You heard from the president. Obviously, I got to be careful, 2024 Hatch Act, but you've heard from the president on this. He answered this multiple times yesterday. Obviously, it's final.